Welcome to RANsauawk's morning briefing for Friday the 17th of July 2009. We've just headed through now 8:30 in London, so just a quick check around the markets and a review of the overnight press. Overnight in Asia did see JGBs snapping pretty much a 7-day decline. They finished in marginally higher positive territory, around 10 ticks or so. Bit of attention there to the ongoing situation with CIT Group in the US and potential bankruptcy filing, which we have seen rumoured over the past couple of days could happen as soon as today. And also as well in Jakarta, what appears to be further terror attacks, the biggest since 2005 in Indonesia, with bombs going off in both the Marriott and Ritz hotels. That as well just getting some attention to Asian players overnight. Taking a quick recap then in terms of actual news flow coming out of the US, obviously we will see Bernanke testifying next week. The FT commenting that Bernanke seeks to flesh out exit strategy when he speaks to Congress in that testimony. The Federal Reserve intends to manage the exit from unconventional easing in a hope that will reduce fears that its policies will end in a bout of inflation. Also elsewhere, late yesterday evening, just before the Wall Street closed, did see equities catch a bit of a bid off the ultra dovish or Dr. Gloom, Nouriel Roubini. He came out and said that the worst is behind the US in terms of economic and financial conditions. In terms of the actual CIT Group story itself, latest coming out of sources in the Wall Street Journal, the large bondholders of CIT Group are discussing a plan to exchange $5 billion in debt for equity in the company, which is also trying to raise emergency funds to avert a bankruptcy filing, something we'll be keeping a very close eye on throughout the rest of the session. However, likes of Roubini and some other analysts have noted that with this news being out now and people most expecting bankruptcy filing, any such move would be somewhat expected and have pretty limited reaction in the markets. Other things as well in the FX front, in particular for the UK markets, we've seen cable already down over 100 pips, briefly testing the 163 handle on the downside. Obviously we saw that IMF report out yesterday commenting on the UK economy, and that's getting a lot of press coverage across the UK papers. The Telegraph running the headline, the IMF warns the pound could be at risk for uncertainty unless Gordon Brown sets out a clear path for reducing national debt. As well with cable, we saw a bit of rejection from that 165 handle on the upside yesterday, so analysts also citing a bit of profit taking going on there. In equities, a couple of US companies of note that did report after the close, in particular IBM posted a Q2 EPS of $2.32 above the expected $2.02, and they also boosted their forecast for the full year EPS range. They traded higher after market, whereas Google, although their EPS did beat expectations, the X items at $5.36, revenues broadly in line. Analysts and the market were looking for slightly better numbers than just slight beats, having seen Intel exceed expectations earlier in the week. Obviously, much of today's focus, as well as the normal data, will be on earnings season. We'll see the likes of Citigroup, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley and also GE to report all pre-market today. Kicking off at around 11 o'clock, we will see Citi and Bank of America. From analysts I've spoken to this morning, most of the attention there is going to be very much on Citigroup, which are expected to post a further loss for the quarter. The EPS headline is expected at a minus 31 cent print, whereas Bank of America are expected to post a Q2 EPS of 27 cents profit. At the moment, in terms of the European equities, basic materials, oil and gas are the better performing sectors. The FTSE CAC and DAX currently up around 0.5%. So taking a quick look then, just in terms of the calendar and other data today, we'll see the Eurozone trade balance at 10 o'clock. CPI numbers out of Canada, they'll be due at midday, and then 1:30 today from the US will be dominated by housing starts and building permits.